Long ago, in the heart of Igboland, ruled the mighty King Isobina, a leader feared across vast lands, his warriors unmatched in battle. His word was law, and kingdoms trembled at his command. Yet, in the midst of his great dominion, a small village called Umuchi dared to defy him. Their refusal to bow fueled the king's wrath, and he sent a messenger with an ultimatum: surrender or be destroyed. Umuchi had no warriors, no weapons, and no wealth. But they possessed something far greater, a secret power that could bring even the mightiest ruler to his knees. No Anika, the oldest and wisest man in Umuchi, gathered the villagers under the great Iroko tree. "We cannot fight the king with swords. But we can defeat him with our minds," he said. The people listened closely as he whispered his plan. They nodded, their faces lighting up with hope. The next morning, the villagers sent a gift to King Isobina and a large wooden box. Inside was a small, strange-looking bird with shimmering green feathers. Attached to the bird's leg was a note: "This bird holds the secret to endless power." The king laughed. "What foolish trick is this?" he scoffed. But curiosity got the better of him. He ordered his guards to lock the bird away and keep watch. That night, the bird began to sing. But it did not chirp like an ordinary bird. Instead, it spoke in a whispery voice: "The one who frees me shall rule forever." The guards were afraid. They ran to tell the king. Isobina could hardly believe his ears. "A talking bird. Bring it to me at once," he ordered. When the bird was placed before him, the king leaned in closer. "Tell me, how can I rule forever?" he asked. The bird flapped its wings and replied, "Only he who finds the golden egg can unlock my power." The king's eyes gleamed with greed. "Where is this golden egg?" he demanded. The bird simply cooed, "Only the wise shall find it." The king ordered his warriors to search the land for the golden egg. "Leave no stone unturned," he bellowed. From morning till night, his men dug up fields, climbed trees, and searched deep into the forest. But no golden egg was found. Back in Umuchi, the children giggled as they watched the warriors struggle. No Anika had taught them a song: "The egg is where the sun sleeps, where the moon drinks, where the earth breathes." The warriors overheard this and rushed back to tell the king. Isobina grew restless. "The sun sleeps in the west, the moon drinks from the river, and the earth breathes through the mountains," he shouted. He sent his warriors to all these places, but they found nothing. Frustrated, the king called upon the wisest man in his court. "Tell me, where is this golden egg?" The wise man shook his head. "Only those who understand the riddle will find it." The king stomped his feet in anger. One evening, as the king sat on his throne, he heard the wind whisper through the palace walls. "Look not with your eyes, but with your heart." The king shivered. Who said that? But there was no one there. Day after day, the bird stopped singing. The king grew impatient. "If you do not speak, I will have you cooked for my supper," he thundered. But the bird did not utter a word. With no answers, the king decided to visit Umuchi himself. "I will outsmart these foolish villagers," he declared. The villagers welcomed him warmly, offering him a feast and a place to rest. That night, No Anika sat beside the king and told him a story about a greedy farmer who chased a golden egg but lost everything. The king listened but did not understand. That night, the king had a dream. He saw himself running after a golden egg, but the faster he ran, the further it moved away. When he finally stopped chasing it, the egg rolled into his hands. The next morning, No Anika asked, "What did you dream of?" The king described it. No Anika smiled. "The egg is not something to be chased. It is something to be earned." The king looked around. He saw happy villagers, kind faces, and peaceful lives. "I have searched far and wide for riches and power, but you have something greater: wisdom and peace." For the first time, the king questioned himself. Was he truly powerful if his people feared him instead of loving him? The bird finally spoke again. The golden egg is not gold. It is wisdom. And with that, it flew away, never to be seen again. King Isobina returned to his palace, but he was no longer the same. He ruled with kindness, listening to his people instead of scaring them. The tiny village of Umuchi had won, not with weapons, but with wisdom. They had outsmarted the most powerful king, proving that true strength comes from the mind, not the sword. The king issued a new decree: all rulers must learn from the wise before they can wear the crown. He sent messengers to spread this across the land. Umuchi hosted a grand festival where people from all over came to hear the elders speak. Even warriors put down their weapons to listen. Isobina traveled far, seeking knowledge. He sat with storytellers, scholars, and farmers, learning from their wisdom. Though the bird was gone, its lesson remained. The story of the golden egg spread, teaching future rulers humility. Children in Umuchi grew up valuing wisdom over riches. They became advisors, leaders, and teachers. Years later, the king passed away peacefully, remembered as a just ruler. The children of Umuchi grew into wise leaders. The kingdom thrived, and villages lived in harmony, guided by the lessons of the past. Before his final days, King Isobina ensured his children were taught wisdom above all else. He knew that power without wisdom led to ruin. With knowledge passed down, the kingdom flourished for generations. No longer ruled by fear, it became a beacon of peace and prosperity. Umuchi's story spread far and wide, reminding all who heard it that wisdom is the truest treasure, the eternal golden egg that never fades.